Hello and welcome to the Final Bell. It is great to have you with us for this week. We are proudly presented by GMHBA, the official health insurance partner of the Geelong Cats. It is great for me to be back. I did sneak off for a little bit, as I'm sure all of our listeners know. But the cool thing is, well, I can't be too glowing and everything like that, because then Meg might think that I don't like her. But we don't have Meg McDonald this week. Instead, we have a special guest. We've stolen her from the Girls podcast. Georgie Rankin is with us. Hello, Georgie.
Hey, Lingy. Thanks for having me. A late call-up I was yesterday afternoon, but happy to be here.
Nothing like a bit of short notice to just quickly get prepared and get your head around everything. But it is great to have you. We do Meg's memo every single week, so no doubt we've got Georgie's memo straight up.
Do you know what? I actually should have been prepared, because I'm usually sitting next to her on game day listening. She just sneaks off like over her shoulder to the side and then lifts her phone up. So, or sometimes not so secretively when she's super animated. But unfortunately, I was not that prepared from the weekend. So I thought she might have sent one through to you.
Yeah, well, I would have thought so. Okay. I would have thought there'd
give her the feedback.
Something. Yeah. Are you sort of, let's peek behind the curtain here. When Meg is doing her memo, are you just silently just shaking your head as she's doing it? Saying, what are you saying, Meg?
I actually really get around it. I love it when she's very witty, our Meg. So some of her one-liners that she comes out with, I'm very impressed. So I'm probably one of her biggest fans, actually.
Oh, good. We've got lots of fans for Meg here. It's great to have you with us. We're going to dive into the game, obviously, from the weekend. A terrific win against St Kilda, a little bit of look at the VFL. We'll get to some fan questions later on. I also want to hear how pre-season and it's almost rolling into game time for the AFLW is going. But let's get stuck into the game against the Saints. Coming off 2 losses in a row for the men's team. Obviously important to come back here to GMHBA Stadium and lock away an important win against a team that ladder position-wise you think, okay, that's pretty simple. But a team that's caused Geelong a few headaches and earlier on in the year obviously got the win against us, unfortunately. They needed to start the game really well and set the standard well. And the start was outstanding from the group, where they just were ruthless early and thought, hang on, no, we're not going to let you get any momentum going here. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, they hit the scoreboard really strong. What were they, 8 or 9 straight, I think, to start with, which is always great when you're then finishing really strong in front of goals. But we were lucky enough, actually, pre the game, we had Stephen King come in to the AFLW group and give us a bit of an insight into what they were talking about going into the game. And it was a lot of that. He sort of said, if you think that they're just going to roll over and, you'll have it easy, you won't with the Saints. So it was unreal to get that insight of how they spoke to their players in the lead up and then to see them execute it so early on. It was just really great from educational perspective, but to watch them, the way they went about it was, just unreal.
And I thought in the first quarter in particular, St Kilda can be hard to play against if you concede some centre clearances and some stoppage losses and they get it into their forward half. St Kilda can be hard to move the ball the entire length of the ground against. They're very well disciplined. We know Ross Lyon's teams play that way. So you're trying to move it an entire ground's length, it can be hard. But when you can get it early on, and it is what Geelong did really well, out of the centre bounces, strong in the centre clearances, and then it's in your half, that's when you can get them on the back foot and obviously provide some scoring opportunities. And to kick 6 goals straight in the first quarter was the perfect way to set that up. And some of the fluent ball movement where we were able to open them up a little bit, the quick 1 or 2 gives, and then quickly into that forward line, meant that the Saints weren't able to get set and locked into what they wanted to do defensively.
Absolutely. And then when the opportunities they did have, the boys were so well locked onto them. You look at Osh and his role that he played. We had moments looking at him just giving grief even when the ball wasn't even in the vicinity. So, when they then have marginal opportunities and they're able to, snuff them out, it just shows that they're set up behind the ball too to make sure that they can keep getting it forward.
And some of our best, I'd say most dynamic runners and ball users probably had really strong games as well. Max Holmes is clearly one. I think he led the coaches' votes 7 coaches' votes. So really good game, 32 disposals. Brian Myers a lot of the footy, Ollie Dempsey a lot of the footy, Shawnee Manor footy and goals. When you're getting those types of players with ball in hand, against a team that wants to be well set defensively, that just helps everything.
Yeah, absolutely. I loved seeing Myers in there and getting a shot in on the ball as well, and just watching his creative flair, really get to work around it. So that was something that we actually did have some insight to. So we definitely had an eye out for him. But yeah, and you saw Holmes and Dempsey and Manor that you've touched on. They just all they just get the game moving on our terms and really nice and smooth and quickly.
You got the whisper then. You were getting all the inside
I know,
words.
honestly, it was unreal. We it's the most that looking at something that we look at in our men's group is just the way they are so versatile, all of them, and probably something as our playing group that we're looking to become more and more. So when we saw the team go up and we saw him talk about why they're making those moves and who they're putting there, and this is their strength and this will allow them to do that even in a completely different position. We were just all literally locked in listening to what they had to say. So when you see it on ground, you're really excited to be like, I actually know what's happening. It's not going, I wonder what's he doing in there? Why did he get thrown in there? So no, we did. We were ahead of the crowd at this one.
I like it. I like it very much. Speaking of versatility, the man who's probably epitomised versatility better than anyone in the comp for so many years, Mark Blitzar's just playing as a key forward, basically a centre-half forward, roaming around. And then as he does, he pushes up. Tom Stewart has that little bit of a concern, and we'll get to that a little bit later with the health update. He straight away just rolls back behind the footy and, sure, I'll play as a defender in it. And almost it's so calmly done that there's not this, oh, no, okay, we're going to just have to plug a hole there. It's like, no, that guy can handle that role, and we'll shuffle it a little bit and it works well. I don't want when we're a very pro Cats podcast, this one, so we don't heap too much praise on opposition, but gee, Wanganeen Miller can play the game, can't he?
Wow.
He at times throughout the game, I did, as I was just here as a fan with my kids, just thinking, he's incredible. How do we stop him getting ball in hand?
I thought you were going to say, how do we get him? How do we get him?
Okay, I like that question too, Georgie. That's a great question. Let's get Andrew Mackey in here and ask him that one. But every time he had the ball in hand, he just slices and dices with his ball use. He is impressive to watch, I must say, for a little bit of love for the Saints there.
Yeah, no, he's a smooth operator, I think, the way that he goes about things. And I think as soon as there was one stage he got, in the forward 50 and he's streaming in for goal, and I'm like, this is just not missing. He's so reliable. It's pretty magical when you see a player like that go to work.
I think he might have, did he hit the post once, Wanganeen Miller? I could be misremembering, but because I'd said to my kids, I said, I just guarantee you exactly as you're saying, he gets the ball running inside forward 50 or has a shot, it's a goal. He's the most pure kicker of the ball.
Yep.
And I reckon must have missed one, and it hit the post from my memory. And they just straight away turned on me, the kids. They're like, see, Dad? See? You can still miss. Like, he missed by about an inch.
Weren't letting you off that easy.
Nah. Speaking of someone who didn't miss too often and has just extended his lead in the Coleman medal, very nice to see. Jez looked sharp again.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they'd even said they were going to get him a bit. I mean, Jez gets to work all over the ground, but really get him high up the ground and see if they can get the ball in his hands. So, yeah, he's in great form. He's just in really good form.
We love to, anytime we're on this podcast, make sure we get the shout outs to the people that we tend to love most. I'm sure as you've listened to this, Meg and I get our little favourites in quite often. For all the love for Max Holmes and for Ollie Dempsey and Grind that you're talking about, and Sean Manor, who deservedly gets a heap of love. Tom Atkins and there was
really
one
hoping
stage,
that's who you were going to point out. Yep.
There was like a contested ball, then there was a tackle, and he forced it out of bounds, and then a boundary throw, and then it was like effort, and then we get the goal out of it. And he wasn't the one who got the goal, and he wasn't the one who everyone was trying to, but it was his repeat efforts that just create so much for this team.
Oh, he's just relentless, isn't he? And he's just the most selfless team player. I think we all got around him more. Was it last week or a couple of weeks ago when he's had a couple goals when he kicked them in the game, and we were absolutely pumped. And still just his humility, and he's just humble, and it's just no fuss the way he goes about it, but he is just relentless, and that's why they say he's the bull in there, and he just goes again and again. So his work rate is just unbelievable.
And you can have effort which he clearly does in spades. He just goes and goes. But you also need, and sometimes this is overlooked with a player like Tom, is also the skill and the incredible craft that he puts into his play to turn the body at the right time. It's not, you can't, at AFL level, you can't get by with just effort.
Yeah.
You need the skill to back it up and the brilliant decision making and everything. And you get tempted to focus on, he's all about effort.
Yeah.
He has the effort, but he's all about this brilliant skill in a different way. It's not the explosive. It's not the Max Holmes running and having four bounces, things that we love to watch. But some of his work in tight is so incredible in its skill execution.
Oh, absolutely. And they talk about like in the phone box and that sort of work where you are tight and 2 to 3 players around your vicinity and then popping one out to someone into space. Like he just has that ability to be calm and absorb that pressure around him, to then use his craft and his technique to release someone on the outside. And that's such an important skill in this game, because then you have the runners and they can go out, which are probably those ones that you're looking at that'll get on the end of it, but you need the one who's inside doing that grunt work.
Absolutely. That's why we love him. Absolutely love him. I'm sure there were our listeners right now, Georgie, thinking, there were moments in the game though too where St Kilda came at Geelong and it was shifting, and maybe maybe a Mitch Owens goal and it gets it back to roughly 9 points. Were we nervous? Were you nervous at all? Did you have moments of thinking, hang on, this could it? This couldn't slip away? Or were you confident the whole time?
I'd like to say quietly confident, but I had moments where I went, this is not enough of a buffer.
Yeah.
I'd like it to be a little bit more in front, as you said, when they had got us, already once before. It's like, let's not give them a sniff, at that bit of hope. But I'd like to say quietly confident for just how the boys were looking on the day.
Yeah, I think I was similar. And maybe my history with St Kilda too, and not a whole heap of love. This is going back quite a long time, but just that, okay, just make it 50 points instead of 30 points.
Yeah.
Or make it 30 points instead of 15 points. Yeah. Let's just put them away. But they end up getting the important win, which is fantastic, obviously, and sending them into a game this Saturday night against North Melbourne, which we will get to in just a second. The Geelong VFL, unfortunately, they went down, Georgie, by 15 points to Collingwood. It was good to see Toby Conway back out there running around. Really good solid hit out for him.
Yeah, absolutely. It's great to see him, pardon me, get through. We've seen him in the gym nearly every day, so to get him out on the track and hopefully get some consistent games back to back will just be massive for him.
He's such a good person too around the club. Every time, I'm not in here as much as you are, Georgie, but every time, just always come over, say good day, positive, just no, I'm putting the work in and it's going to pay off eventually.
He does have a beautiful energy about him and will speak to anyone who walks through the doors, so no, I think that's just a credit to the type of people we get in, but I would say Tobes is up there as one of the most genuine, beautiful people we've got here at the club.
And good to see Ted Closey and Jai Clark, plenty of the footy as well. I was up in Sydney for the Giants game, and we went early and watched the VFL. I thought their touch around that game and throwing Mitch Nevitt as well, who I just thought was outstanding in that game. You can see that depth of the younger midfielders there, which is really important. They didn't get the result, but obviously a few players getting a little bit of form. Speaking of not quite getting the result, the VFLW went down by 35 points to Collingwood, but I believe
they were in it up until, three-quarter time. They were right in there, and I think even partway into the fourth, and Collingwood just came home strong. I'm not sure which way they were going in the end. It was a windy day out at Deakin. We were there in the morning, so whether that came into it, but it was good to see Mick Morrissey's continuing to have a great year. We have her out on the track with us on a Tuesday night, and she's going to be an exciting little player coming through the ranks, that's for sure.
That's very exciting to hear. The VFL, they take on North Melbourne this Sunday. It's at Arden Street. 12:05 p.m. The VFLW have a bye before their final game on August 3rd against Darebin. Now, speaking of VFLW or AFLW, the countdown to the 2025 AFLW season is on. We want you to join us on August 7 as we officially kick off the season at our season launch. You'll hear directly from the players and staff as we share insights ahead of round one, while also getting to see our new recruits during the jumper presentation. You can get tickets at What is that? bit.ly/season launch AFLW. Had to
Well
just
done.
check my eyesight then to make sure I read that first bit
I wasn't sure
correct.
if there was a typo there.
Yeah, I was about to say bit.ly and then I realised there was a full stop in there. So bit.ly, season launch AFLW. Will we hear from you during that season launch?
No, we won't be hearing from me, but you'll hear from the skipper. So, you missed out on it today, but you'll get to hear from Meg Mack, the coaches, and, I think a couple of our newer players maybe as well. So get along. And we're at the Geelong Arts Centre. So usually we're here at the Cattery, but, we'll be in a new sort of environment. And so we're actually looking forward to that, see what that feels like in the room.
Fantastic. August 7th, as I mentioned, so please do come along. Oh, speaking of AFLW in the season being very, very much around the corner, I want to ask you a couple of questions next about how pre-season's going, we're leading into some practice matches now, who to maybe keep an eye out on. I'm working on a number of AFLW games this season, so I'm looking forward to I'll probably pick your brain a little bit here. This is from a selfish perspective, but let's take a break and we'll do that next.
Sounds good.
Winning a three-peat isn't easy, but at GMHBA Health Insurance, that's exactly what we've done. By winning the 2024 CanStar Outstanding Value Hospital Cover in Victoria 3 years running.
GMHBA have been caring for the Geelong community since 1934 and are proud supporters of the mighty Geelong Cats. Join at gmhba.com.au.
Welcome back to the Final Bell. We are proudly presented by GMHBA, the official health insurance partner of the Geelong Cats. I promised a health update, speaking of GMHBA. The only thing I've really got to add, because Georgie, you'd notice this, we say every time, we don't have heaps, so check out the health updates.
Yeah.
It's the best way to find out the real information. But I was watching a bit of the footy shows last night, and Chris Scott said the Tom Stewart subbing off was a preemptory one, a precautionary one to make sure he's a little sore, little concerned. Bring him off. Great decision because it sounds like he'll be good to go this week, which is great news. But do check out the health update for more up-to-date information on the website or any of the social media channels. We have stolen you, as I mentioned before, with Meg being away from the Girls, the AFLW podcast. Thank you so much for jumping on here.
No worries. It's good. It's given me a little bit of a warm-up because we haven't started recording yet, but we're very close to. Yep, it'll be coming up. I mean, we've got our first pracky this weekend, so it will give us some good content, and I think, in the next couple of weeks they'll be hearing from us.
With Becky and Claudia again?
Yes, Becky and Claudia Gunjaka, we're all back. We may have a new segment, so we've just been sort of all brainstorming, putting our heads together. So it's not Meg's memo, but we'll come up with something something for our group.
Nothing can beat Meg's memo. That's one of a kind, that one. Did I hear correctly that Claudia got engaged?
She did, yes, in the off-season to Tom Henry, so Jack and Ollie's eldest brother. We also had Jackie Parry, so we've had 2 engagements in our off-season, which is very exciting. That and Chantel Emerson, who is pregnant. So we've had a bit going on, in the off-season, and those girls were showing off their rings when they first got. I think Gunj genuinely doesn't take it off. Maybe in the gym, and I see it sitting on her phone, and I think that's probably not the best spot for it, but it goes straight back on, I reckon, in between sets almost. So, yes, she keeps on top of it.
Very good. So lots happening in the off-season. What about the pre-season? You're well and truly deep into that and almost heading into game mode. How's it been? How are you travelling with it?
Yeah, it's been great. I think we've all said last year was probably our hardest pre-season ever. So if we can get through that, we can get through everything. But you have some of those big Saturday main sessions where you're walking off going, can't wait to hit the couch. That is just your priority. But it's been a really good pre-season, very optimistic. I think I get excited every year when you feel that they're just adding layers of little minor tweaks and additions to the game of being like, oh, actually, if we just open that up and that's another, string to our bow, then it just all starts coming together a bit more. And I had I can't remember. Oh, it was with Jake. It was something for Ford 100 years and talking about the 1925 premiership. And we were talking a bit on the AFLW and how far it's come. And I was saying how I finally understood around how coaches, to a degree, can only coach to what their what they've got in front of them, what their playing group, their strengths are, what their attributes are. So I think seeing from being there at the start the development of probably quite a defensive game early on, starting to build into our attack. Then it was, long down the line. Now how can we open up gaps? And I'm just seeing more and more of those layers come in. So this year I hope that it'll bring a more well-rounded performance to us out on track. And we've been seeing that in our preseason, which is exciting when you talk through it and then you see the execution start to come out on field. So it's been a really, really positive, optimistic preseason.
That's really exciting to hear that. So at training and particularly probably the Saturday sessions, you're doing a lot of that match play type stuff. Can you talk us, our listeners, through the steps from here? So practice matches, intra-clubs first, or is it straight into against opposition?
Straight into Oppo. So we've got St Kilda this weekend, and then we'll roll into Gold Coast next weekend. Then we'll have a weekend off, and then we hit round one. So we're in the crux of it now. Yes. We've had a couple of those, whether it's intra-club or real match sim styles, probably for the last 2 weeks is when we've been seeing, it started with just 2 quarters of your match sim and then into 3, and then, more from situational scenarios now into now we're just going to play. We want to see live play attack and that sort of thing. So it's been the slow build up, and then, now we're hitting our prackies.
Ready to go. And speaking of round 1 against North, little bit of history there, a little bit of feeling.
We are due. Yeah. We are absolutely due to get the win. I think it's a great way to start the season. There is I think a healthy, a really respected rivalry there. So I think it'll be a great game to get along to, and we're really hungry for the win. We got so close last year with a draw. It's time. It is time.
I like that. That's very exciting stuff. Good luck for the practice matches to start.
Thank you.
It's always funny. I don't know if you've felt this the same. You do all of that pre-season, and you do the match sim or intra-club practice matches, and then the first time you play against other opposition, real opposition, you feel like you haven't completed a pre-season at all.
You
just feel so exhausted and your legs feel so heavy and think, what the hell is going on? Am I even fit?
Yeah.
You almost need to get over that little hurdle and then you feel great again. But you feel that moment of panic, like, oh, hang on, maybe I'm not fit enough. I'm sure you'll have a moment of that.
The shock always hits. And I don't know if it's a matter of, it's new stimulus almost, because your teammates. So as much as everyone's, still playing with that creative flair, it's like, your teammates inside and out. So it's almost this shock to the system. It's someone new, new stimulus around you. You're coming up against someone different, and your legs start to feel heavy. And I'm thinking, am I going to get to the other end of the ground? But you find your way through for sure.
You do. Oh, well, that's exciting stuff. Let's get to some fan questions. Every time on the podcast, we try and answer a few of the fan questions. You're going to have to help me with this first one, Georgie, because Bear Fitz says, can we start calling Patrick Dangerfield Tricky instead of Pat? I don't know why.
Patrick. You know what I'm looking as well.
I just realised that.
I'm thinking, is this an inside joke? I feel like I've missed the
I was trying to think of something tricky he did on the weekend, and that was the reason.
That's where I was going as well. So
sorry, Bear Fitz. We're both a little slow on that one. Do you call him Paddy or Pat or Danger?
Paddy.
Yeah, I've always called him Paddy.
I've always called him Paddy. Yep. I don't know what sort of look we'd get if we tried to roll out Tricky to him.
He might love it. He might embrace it.
Maybe.
Yeah. Bear Fitz. Can't promise you we're going to try that one. Sorry. Appreciate the question, though. Chloe wants to know, what's the funniest moment you can remember on the field? You got any?
What can I remember on field?
I do remember a game where Corey Enright, the great Corey Enright, ran around for a few minutes, wasn't it? Thank you, producer Jake. A few minutes. It wasn't you've
already clued on. What is it?
When he ran around with no shorts on.
I remember this too.
He'd had them ripped off.
He was in the Navy jocks, wasn't he? Or Speedos or something.
Speedos, yeah. And I reckon Boris was thinking, my legs are looking okay here. I'm going to just keep... And as Boris did, of course, he kept getting the footy before he could get a replacement pair of shorts.
That's gold. Well, I actually remember watching that as a kid. What did I have? Bowie last year, she pushed back on the mark in the opposite direction to what we were going. But it actually ended up being a goal. So she likes to say she did it on purpose and was tricking the whole group. But
creative play.
yeah, exactly.
There you go, Chloe. This one's from Lily. Most likely to be next captain. Who do you reckon? Paddy's got another 5 years in him, so it'll be great. We'll get him to 40, Tom Brady style. But after Paddy, your contenders, Tom Stewart clearly is the VC.
Stewie's up there. I mean, maybe I'm a bit biased. He is, doing some development coaching with us, but Tom Atkins, I think, is holds himself beautifully. I don't want to base it on age, but you've got Blitz would be one of the highly most. Let's try that again. Highest regarded in terms of his leadership by the entire group. So
I always wondered if Blitz would be the next, and this wasn't to retired Paddy for 1 second, but when maybe 2 years ago he had an injury or two, and Paddy was like, maybe is he going to hand it over? Maybe just play the last. Is it Blitz then? The fact Paddy's still going and playing incredible and leading so well, maybe Blitz. Just age doesn't get him there, but it doesn't take away the fact that he is you can just see one of the true leaders out there and has been for a long, long time. Well, okay, I'll put a little bit more pressure on you here, Georgie.
Oh, no, don't ask me.
Just from he won't be the next captain necessarily because of age. From somebody who's 25 and younger, from what you've either witnessed on the field, noticed around the club, who's you're
really putting me on the spot here.
This is good.
I'm also terrible with ages. I'm actually looking out on the track at the moment.
Isn't it good when I just throw you under the
Yeah,
bus like this?
I love that.
I'm trying to buy myself some time to actually think of a few
I was going to say,
different.
have you got someone in your mind?
No, because that's why I asked you, so
asked
that
me.
I can scramble.
Excellent.
And is a Max Holmes who's in that age bracket? Are we putting too much pressure on a Connor O'Sullivan who's in his second season of footy? That's way too
Who else
early
have
to
we
be.
got in there? You got like an Ollie Dempsey, or is it some that
Ollie
are? If
Dempsey,
you're thinking that far, that
that.
younger crew, then you've got those coming through the VFL that will have done the hard yards, and then hopefully at that stage, like I don't know, George Stevens.
Yes,
he carries himself really well. Really well spoken,
person.
Around the four walls. You've really stumped me there.
Yeah, I'm quickly going through the numbers in my head, as that's why I'm not speaking as much as I probably should be. Zach Guthrie, no, he's not under 25 anymore. That's cheating.
That is cheating.
But he's just a brilliant leader. By the way, we went through the game before and we gave shout-outs to those that we love. Zach Guthrie and Jack Henry, early on in particular, I thought were just brilliant.
Yeah.
Jack Henry...
Mr. Reliable.
Apart from that block that he missed games, every game that he's played, he has been in the top 8 players on the ground. He might not be best on and second best on and that like a Bailey Smith at times or a Max Holmes, but I can guarantee you he has not dropped outside of the top 8 in each of the games that he has played.
Yeah, I think sometimes we feel a little bit biased as between myself, Meg, Gunj, Shan as fellow defenders, but we love his game, the way you go, him and Zach. And as you're saying, like they are just reliable, get the job done, and they perform. Their baseline, I just think, is at an unbelievable level. Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. So we might have cheated there, Lily, because, not that you asked the under 25s.
Moved away from the question.
We named about 15 different players. Troy wants to know how many goals will Jez finish on this year. He's on how many?
58.
58. We have 5 to go. What are you going to average him for the next 5? You're going to give him 4 a game, 3 a game?
I was going to go 3.
7 a game?
Geez, that'd be putting some pressure on him, wouldn't it?
So 3 games, 15. That is 73.
Good maths, Lingy.
So 73 heading into finals. We play 3 finals because we win the first final, top 4. We're a pro Geelong podcast here. We can say what we like.
Would we say like...
He then has a Gary Ablett Senior type final series of 89 where he kicks 30 in the finals.
You could still get like within those average games, like a game of 5 or 6, So we're hitting 80?
80 would be, It'd be an incredible achievement.
It would be
to
unbelievable.
kick 80. But hopefully, Troy, that is the number we are talking about. Thank you for your question. Thank you to all of our questions. We do love hearing from our listeners. We appreciate the support. It was nice being up at the Giants game, as I mentioned. So many people came up and said they listen to the podcast. They live in Sydney. They love listening to the podcast. They love Meg.
I was
That's
about to
what I
say,
heard.
I've had people come in the stands, come up to Meg. I love you on the podcast, Meg. Actually, do you know what they say, Lingy? They say, I love your podcast, Meg. So you need to.
No, don't worry.
step
I know
up your
it.
game.
The first line of so many was, I listen to the podcast. And then I'm waiting like, yeah? I love Meg on the podcast. She's great. I'm like, oh, yeah, what about her co-host?
That's gold.
Meg's the favourite. That's okay. I know where I sit. Let's quickly look forward to this Saturday night's game, taking on the Kangaroos. Meg's old favourite team.
I know. Yeah, she'd have all the inside gossip. Should have got the rundown from her. What to roll out in the preview.
Yes. 7:35 p.m. at Marvel Stadium. A Kangaroos team that has improved throughout the season. I know the wins aren't completely flowing yet, but you can see the way that they're playing. We, again, almost similar to the game that we just saw against St Kilda. Ladder position would say Cats just win. Mm-hmm. It's as simple as that, but it's never as simple as that. The importance is that the team almost starts the way they did on the weekend. That has that approach to the contest, has that approach to the way they set up, and their ball movement should be able to take care of North Melbourne. But, you know, it's like you got to be ready to go and actually prepared and do the work first, and then it should flow.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that I've heard them speak, particularly now when everyone's saying, the run into the back end of the year and the finals, and it's the cliche week on week, but they're just looking at their form of how they want to be playing right here, right now. So whether that's today on the track or Saturday at the game, it's replicating what's going to have them at their best, and then obviously you take in who your opposition is, of course, but taking care of the way they're wanting to perform, I just think is such a good way to go about it.
And the importance of these games as well is the fact that, like you mentioned, we saw on the weekend, Graham Myers go into the midfield, is what other little strings are they going to add to the team's bow in preparation for finals? Mm-hmm. So if heaven forbid, but Max Holmes or Bailey Smith is being really well held in September, who's a mid who could jump in there and give them a chop out for a little bit, maybe put them behind the ball, on the wing, forward, wherever you want to do, and just change a look for the opposition, but do it with confidence, knowing that they've done it in games previously? Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, we talk about their versatility, but there's still a matter of doing that in real time and making sure that you're able to mould into what's needed at that point in time. Even I look at like when you have Bosie on the weekend come in as the sub and make an impact. So all those little intricacies which will be really important as they're leading into those finals and bigger high pressure situations. Some of them may be in for their first time. So yeah, it'll be super important.
It will be. So check that one out. Of course you will. 7:35 p.m. at Marvel Stadium. Hopefully get a good crowd there. I'm working at that one for radio, so I'm looking forward to seeing it firsthand. And then obviously a really important run home into finals. I will be back next week. Who am I being joined by next week, Georgie?
Oh yeah, look, I'll take the bench seat again. Meg will be back in the seat.
I reckon you've put a lot of pressure on the skipper by doing a brilliant job today.
Thanks, Lingy. No, I've loved it. This is great. Great spot. I've been watching the boys train as we go. So whenever you want me back.
I love the fact you're rocking the new kit too. For those of you who are watching this, you can see exactly what Georgie's wearing. It's the what are they?
Bomber jacket?
The Letterman sort of jacket, is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool.
So do you know it's warm? It's warm in here. I mean, it's cold outside, but I will say it is warm in here.
Get them at the cat shop. Can you produce it, Jakey? At some point in time. Ooh, sneak preview. Okay. I didn't know that one.
Eyes peeled.
You might have to take that one home with you, Georgie.
Imagine, I don't know if B will let me out the door in this one.
Well, I will be back next week. I'll let Meg and Georgie sort out who else is joining us, but it's been so great to have you on the show. The girls is coming back pretty soon.
Very soon, in the next couple of weeks.
So check that one out as well. Good luck for the pracky matches coming up. Can't wait for round one of the AFLW, but great to see you, Georgie.
Thanks, Lee. Thanks for having me.